guys, David Bond here showing you another cool new product from KPA Solutions. This is the Kemper 112 Plus. That's weird, he definitely said it was by KPA Solutions, but it says Palmer on there. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. So first of all then, what is this product? Well, it's a guitar cabinet designed for use with modeling amps such as the Kemper profiling amp or the Axe-Fx. And how is this different to a regular guitar cabinet then? Well, for example, this Mesa Boogie cabinet that you can see sat underneath here puts out a much narrower frequency range, and it'll colour the sound that's coming out as well. So it'll emphasise certain frequencies and maybe even reduce certain frequencies. And historically speaking, working with valve amps, that would be a really cool thing because by combining together different cabs with different heads, you get very different sounds. But when you're working with modeling amps, you don't necessarily want the cabinet to change the sound coming out of the modeling amp because the sound is already processed inside of the Kemper or inside of the Axe-Fx to sound as close to the original amp as possible, and you really don't want the cab to change that. So up until very recently then, KPA Solutions offered two separate products, one which was a guitar range flat response cabinet and one which was a full range flat response cabinet. And the guitar range flat response cabinet would operate in roughly the region of kind of 70 Hertz up to about 7,000 or 8,000 Hertz. It could put out frequencies in that range, not above and not below. And the full range flat response cabinet would put out anything between kind of 50 Hertz up to about 18,000 Hertz. So just to kind of put that into some perspective then, the human range of hearing is from roughly 64 Hertz all the way up to about 23,000 Hertz. And as you get older, like me, your frequency range reduces and you lose kind of top end essentially. So you'll start to cut down maybe to 22,000 Hertz or 20,000 Hertz the older you get. So the cabinets then that KPA have offered up until very recently, great cabinets ranging through from about 700 euros up to kind of 1,000 euros. But now there's a brand new product available that allows you to run in two separate modes. So this can run in either guitar range flat response mode or full range flat response mode. And the idea with this product then was to be able to bring out a more affordable cabinet that can be delivered fast and still looks great. So how does this work then? Well, basically you order an unloaded Palmer cabinet, which is why this looks like a Palmer product. But in actual fact, it's a Kemper 112 Plus kit built into an unloaded Palmer cabinet. So you order an unloaded Palmer cab, costs you about 95 euros on thomann.de, and then you order the kit from KPA Solutions, which contains a broad-bent 12-inch speaker, a tweeter, a bass reflex, and some mounting plates. So the actual installation procedure then, it takes about an hour and a half. It requires some drilling, but all in all, it's a fairly easy procedure. And there is a very cool video from the guys at KPA Solutions that show you how to install the kit inside of the unloaded Palmer cabinet. I'm not going to be doing that in the scope of this video, but there is a video there available to show you how to install it. So that's the product then. So just to wrap this up, I'm going to show you just some comparisons of the different tones that you can get out of this cabinet and how it changes when you switch between the guitar range flat response mode and the full range flat response mode. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the website kpasolutions.com for more information. Right, so you heard kind of a side-by-side comparison there of the guitar range flat response mode versus the full range flat response mode. How useful that is, I'm not sure, but hopefully you picked out some discernible differences. It is worth pointing out that there's so many nuances that we aren't able to capture here. You know, for example, this SM57 microphone that I'm using today doesn't really capture much above kind of 15,000 hertz, and it really tapers off at the higher frequencies anyway. So we're not capturing all of those high frequencies that the full range flat response mode is putting out. You know, other than that, the cable will have an effect on the tone. The room that I'm sitting in now, the ambience of this room will affect the tone that you hear through your speakers. And your own setup set at home as well will affect what you hear. So some of you might be listening through little laptop speakers or kind of computer desktop speakers. And you won't hear all of the frequencies that you might hear if you were listening through full range flat response studio monitors. So there is a lot of variables here. But what I'm saying is that sitting here in the room, you can hear huge differences between these two modes and the frequencies that they put out. And you know, there's different applications for both of those modes where you either want to retain all of those high frequencies or maybe cut them out if it's getting a little bit too harsh. So I was using the Camplifier Studio for the demo today, which is the small power amp module from KPA-Solutions. I've recently put up another video just demoing exactly that power amp module, but that's where all the sound was coming from. It's a little 25 watt power amp module, so go check that out, have a look at the other video as well. And it's worth mentioning, just kind of final thoughts on this. As a guitar range flat response or full range flat response cabinet, this is intended to leave a smaller footprint as possible on your tone. Cabinets like this one sat underneath the Misabugi cabinet will leave a huge footprint on the tone, and that's intentional. You know, they work great with valve amps, whereas this kind of cabinet is not designed to work with a valve amp. It's designed to work with modeling amps where you need that really small footprint so that you can capture the sound that's coming out of the Kemper or the sound that's coming out of the Axe effects. And it is intended that you run these with the cabinet simulator switched on the Kemper. So you're able to hear what that cabinet sounds like without this cabinet colouring the tone at all. So last thing then, I'm going to just do a little bit of playing without any backing track, and it's literally just going to be kind of overdriven guitar sounds, and I'll switch back and forth between the two modes so that you can hopefully hear how these high frequencies change when I do that. So this is in full range flat response mode.